Hey everyone, so 2 weeks since the launch of Draenor has gone by, and it's been fun so far. Uh, I think it's pretty safe to say that most of us can appreciate what Blizzard has done for the leveling experience for this new expansion. It's been fun, it's well done, and it's pretty much a streamlined experience. But as you know, once you hit max level, there are, for most of us, there are the dungeons that we have to do, and that those are important mainly because we're preparing ourselves eventually for raids. And the first one should be High Mall and another raid, which I forgot. Anyway, um, I just thought I'd share with you some tips on progressing any character you have in Warlords of Draenor. For the video clips, I will be focusing, you'll be seeing a lot of my warrior, but the suggestions and tips will be generalized for everyone's use. So, again, well, just a reminder, I guess, this progression thing I've been doing isn't the fastest, but it is a steady pace. It doesn't involve really buying a whole lot of gear from the auction house. Uh, uh, This is also assuming that you're pretty much unlucky with drops from dungeons, or if you're questing, you're not getting the best gear, or just in general for some reason overall pretty much unlucky, and the pacing of acquiring gear has been pretty slow. So here are some tips for everyone that I'm sure you'll find really really useful. So the first tip I can give is to not ignore your garrison. So it's a love hate thing. Some people will like it, some people won't like garrisons. It really depends on you. The thing is, though, it's very very important for you, and as you progress your character. Again, if you're unlucky with other things, with quest drops, and things like that. The first thing you have to do at level 90 is to make sure you work on your crafting profession, especially if it's a type of profession that gives you gear. Most of the epic crafted gear are costly. They require a whole lot of materials. And actually, I realized this a few days late on my warrior. But anyway, yes, it's very much worth it. It it's important to say you're a blacksmith, that you produce your iron ingots for your epic quality gear. So just make sure, that's tip number one. Do not ignore your crafting profession with your garrison, because it makes it a whole lot easier. Let's say you're missing one particular piece of armor. Let's say you're missing a shoulder piece, you're missing a leg piece, or I don't know, chest piece or helm. Just make it. Your crafting profession allows you to make that missing piece of gear that might push your item level a bit higher, just for you to be able to enter a heroic dungeon, or even maybe a normal dungeon. So uh, that's tip number one. Do not ignore your garrison and its crafting benefits. Second is that the legendary quest line actually starts in your garrison. So there should be, at least for the Alliance, there's this Void Walker looking thing walking around when I hit level 98. And that just opened up the legendary quest line with Kargath. Uh, Sorry, that's Khadgar. So it's very important that you watch out for that. When you hit level 98, I believe, there should be an starting quest for you to get a couple of items from certain dungeons, and certain, most of them in heroic modes, and asking you to collect some apexis crystals. So yeah, another reason why garrisons are important. So that's tip number two. Make sure to watch out for that legendary starter quest, which will eventually, even as this early on in the expansion, can already award you with an epic level 640 ring. Tip number three is making a storehouse in your garrison. It basically just increases your overall available work orders for all buildings. So this means that you can queue up more orders for the materials you'll need in crafting gear. So basically, let's say your blacksmith allows you 14 work orders. This allows you to queue up an additional five, so that you're putting in more work in there without you having to do any effort. Uh, and it makes it in a sense faster for you to get the raw materials for your epic crafted gear. Tip number 4 is actually constructing a dwarven bunker or a war mill in your garrison. So what the bunker basically does is that it doubles the chance for your questing rewards to get a rare or epic upgrade. So basically, you're getting upgrades for gear or better gear for just the same quest. It's just that it's an improved version of what you ideally would have gotten. So it's free. It's a free upgrade, and to boot, if you're into mogging your gear, this allows you to gather particular materials off mobs, so you can modify the way your gear looks. But anyway, the main important thing here is that the bunker gives you a chance to upgrade your quest rewards. So basically makes it easier for you to enter normal or even some heroic dungeons. Tip number 5 is again about garrisons and making sure that you give importance to those max level garrison missions for your followers. It's important that you send in, when you see those missions pop up, and they're usually in the higher level bracket, make sure to send your best followers, especially those that encounter the enemy or the boss abilities, so that it really just makes sure that you win that garrison mission. So, in addition to, if you combine it also with the Dwarven Bunker and the War Mill benefit, there's also a chance that the gear you get will be upgraded. So that's tip number 5. The last tip I can offer in gear acquisition as you progress your character in Warlords of Draenor is, around PvP gear. So, if you're struggling with heroics or if you're having trouble reaching the minimum item level requirement for getting into normal dungeons or heroic dungeons, it's really an option to purchase PvP gear. Uh, they're now useful mainly because their stat budgets are no longer affected by the old PvP stats like PvP power and resilience. Here's a screenshot of what I'm talking about. These are basically the same type of gear. You get strength, stamina, you get crit, haste. Well, anyway, they're basically the same. They give the same stats, although there is a marginal difference in item level. If you look at it, it's basically the same. Uh, the PvP piece is basically useful even in PvE encounters. So just make sure that the secondary stats you get will be useful in your PvE encounters. One potential problem I can see with this is that if other people inspect you, they may not understand why you're using PvP gear. So I'm hoping you don't have to run into that. Anyway, those are my 6 tips for gearing your character and just progressing your character as you reach level 100, and the things you can do in level 100 to gear up your character. I hope you found this useful. So as always, if you like what you've seen, just hit like and please subscribe for more content from me.